Hello everyone and welcome to the very first video lecture of the series Cambridge IGCSE Computer Science for Curriculum 2210 and 0478. Now if you go onto the Cambridge website, they have their syllabus, the new syllabus for the trainees that are going to be appearing in the examination of 2023 to 2025. They have made some modifications in the syllabus. Now from that syllabus, the very first section of the syllabus is on data representation, how data is represented in a computer system. And each section has its own subsections. So there are three subsections of data representation. We're going to be looking at the first one, that is number systems, that what are the different number systems used by the computers and by humans, and what are the number systems that are exchanged in between them. Now, the objective for today is understanding how and why computers use binary to represent all forms of data. The key point to remember here is any form of data needs to be converted to binary to be processed by a computer. That means that if you have any form of data, it should be in binary so that the computer can process it. And that's what we're going to be looking at, that why computers understand binary only. Now, before starting, I want you guys to think for a second that what are the different fields where computers are majorly used. If you try to analyze, computers are used majorly in many fields in almost all of the different fields that you see in your life. However, some of the common ones I have mentioned here that are greatly influenced by computers. In all these fields, there is one thing common, that all these fields require some form of data to be fed to the computer in order to generate the results. So this data can be textual data, it can be image data, it can be audio data, or it can be video data. For example, a content creator will require video data for his channel. A web developer, on the other hand, will develop web pages that will have HTML or CSS files written in the form of textual files. All this data, when fed to a computer, the computer converts this into a format known as binary. So we need to first raise the question that what exactly is binary? Binary means a number system with only two digits, 0 and 1. Computers translate all forms of data, whether it be text, images, audio, video, etc., into zeros and ones. Now the question arises that why do computers interpret everything as zeros and ones only? To answer this question, let us first look at what computers are basically. Computers are electronic devices. All electronic devices, including your laptop, smartphones, smartwatches, cars, etc., are made up of fundamental electronic device known as a transistor. So the diagram of a transistor is being shown on the right side of the screen. It's a symbolic diagram or a symbolic representation of the transistor. Transistors were the groundbreaking invention in the year 1947. Soon after their invention, they quickly found their way in the computers, and the inventors William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain that invented the transistors were awarded Nobel Prize for their work. Now, let us look at how a transistor works. So, a transistor works just like a switch does. A switch allows a current to pass or to stop. If the switch is turned off, electric current won't pass through the light bulb. However, when the switch is turned on, it allows the current to pass through the light bulb, thus turning it on. Here we have a light bulb connected to a wire, and right now the bulb is switched off. We can represent this off state by a 0. Electricity is being continuously provided to your houses, which means that electric current will be there in the wire. However, since the bulb is switched off, therefore the electricity cannot light the bulb. Once we turn on the switch, the circuit gets completed and the bulb lights up. We can represent this on state of the bulb with a 1. The on state can be called as 1 or true, and the off state can be called as 0 or false. Similarly, when we turn the light bulb off, it will switch back to the state 0. Just like a switch, a transistor allows an incoming current signal to pass or to stop. Unlike a normal switch, however, the transistor doesn't require human assistance to turn it on or off. So how does a transistor get on or off? In order to see that, let's consider a transistor. A transistor has three wires. One of the very first wire is used for getting the input signal. The last wire, that is the third wire, is used for sending the output. Now, suppose an input signal is coming to the transistor. This input signal can be coming from your keyboard or from your mouse or from any of the programs that you are running on your computer or any event that is taking place. But this input signal cannot go through the transistor to the output because currently the transistor is in zero state. The computer turns the transistor on or off by controlling this middle wire. This middle wire is known as the control wire, and the computer provides a pulse to this control wire which turns the transistor on and converts the transistor from 0 to 1 state. In this way, the input signal can go to the output. This pulse is being provided by the computer, and as long as this pulse is being provided, the transistor remains in one state. However, as soon as the computer turns off the pulse, the transistor switches back to a zero state. In this way, by controlling the pulse on the control wire, the transistor is either turned on or off by the computer. The computer sends an electric pulse to change the state of a transistor. The state of a transistor can be changed millions of times in a second. Since a computer is controlling it, therefore the computer can change the state of the transistor millions of times in a second. They are so small that a square inch of a chip can have billions of transistors. For example, the chipset of iPhone 12 contains 11.8 billion transistors. That is 11,800,000 transistors on this size of chip. This is the reason why computers process all data in the form of zeros and ones, which is known as binary. The processor of the computer, if we open it up, has a circuit inside it, and if we zoom into it very deeply, at the core lies the transistors. The transistors inside the processors are in billions, and they all are turned either on or off by providing an electric pulse from the computer, thus generating binary numbers in the process. This is why all data in the computer gets converted to binary. The summary is that computers can process different forms of data, for example text, image, audio, video, etc. The processor chip of the computer which processes this data is made up of transistors. Transistors are like switches which turn on and off millions of times in a second by the computer, producing zeros and ones. Each time a transistor turns on, it produces a 1, and when it turns off, it produces a 0. All data given to a computer is converted to zeros and ones by the processor. Because of the transistors, computer convert everything to binary. So now you should have a basic knowledge of why computers convert all the data into binary. So in the next lecture, we will see how transistors are combined to form complex circuits like logic. In case if you have any question relating to this video, or if you have any question regarding notes or syllabus of the computer science, you can contact me at the following links. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.